Hello and welcome. This is Eagle Eye 621, and what you see behind me is a very simple 1.16 blaze farm. Now, it is important to note that this is specifically for 1.16 because there was a change in the game that doesn't allow the lava to push mobs, and some of you may already be able to take a look behind me and see where this is all going. But if you do stick around, I will tell you the very important measurements that you're going to need in order to build your own. So what we're doing behind me is using strategically placed lava to push the blaze into a nice little killing chamber for the player in order to get you the maximum amount of XP and blaze rods. Now, very roughly speaking, you'll get about 500 mob drops from one of these spawners as long as you're standing within that range of 16 blocks. Blaze will give you 10 XP per kill, and they will drop between 0 and 4 blaze rods if you have a looting 3 sword. So you can think, again, very roughly, this will get you about 5,000 XP per hour and about 1,000 blaze rods. That's enough to power a little over 33 furnaces full time. So I like these blaze rod spawners, especially earlier in the game. I also really like the skelly spawners for the bone meal, but the blaze rods and the blaze do give you a really good XP for not a lot of work, and the blaze rods can be very helpful. Now, you go down into this chamber right here, and you can see that we have a very bad door. And now you come in here. The blaze are all safely in the killing chamber. We have a little bit of soul soil or soul sand, your choice, in order to allow the hoppers to pick up the blaze rods through and nicely deposit into the chest. And of course, you can make your own little setup here. I don't really claim to be good at making these bases, but you always need an ender chest, even if there's nothing in it. So make sure you have an ender chest. And then you can see that you do have some entity cramming even with these vines. It does help with the lag. You come in here and you can just swipe away, get all that nice XP, and all those blaze rods find their way into the chest. And you can walk around, but you can actually reach all the way through, and the blaze, as long as you stay on these blocks, can't hit you. If you do make an effort and you crawl in there and you try and squeeze as close as possible, you might get punched a time or two. So don't do that. Just stand here on the outside. And let's go to a little prepared area I have up top to show you how to space this out. Before I do, let me just say that most of you are not subscribed. If you would take a moment to hit that button and ring that bell, I would really appreciate it. It does help out the channel a lot. Let's go into spectator mode so we can fly on up through the ceiling and find some pre-made structures here. And let's fly over to the other side and start with the spawner itself. And the spacings are what's important. So this is just to help me find it. The blaze can spawn within a 9x9. So you have 4 blocks in each direction where they can potentially spawn that you want to make sure, let's alternate again, that you don't block. And similarly, 4 in this direction. They can also spawn on top. So you are going to want to make sure you have an extra block so that they don't hit any ceiling issues. And because of the way the lava flows, we are going to want to pick 2 of these sides, doesn't matter which, and we're going to add an extra block to that. So 1 extra on each side. So you can see that we have 4 in this direction, 4 in this direction, 5 in that direction, and 5 in this direction. And you're going to want your wall to be here on the outside. So you want to make sure that you do have these 5 air blocks, 4 air blocks here, 4 air blocks, and then 5 air blocks. And you can connect these to make your wall, just like this. And you want to make this a giant square. Coming on in. And there isn't going to be too much block placing here, which is what the purpose of the other structures you see over there are. And you also want to come out to make a full box. Now you want those 2 air blocks above it, so this is where you put your wall. And again, you can come out here, just have some night vision potions so that it's easier to see on YouTube. And then also on this side and on this side. Now in terms of the down, it's perfect. If the mobs are within a 4-block range, then the spawner may not spawn any additional mobs. So you want to come down 4 to start with. And then you also want to give some room for the blaze because they are too tall. And you want your floor to be at this level right here. Just like that. So you come down 4, and then 2 more is for 6 air blocks. And this is your first floor that you're going to make. And again, we're going to connect this whole thing into one giant box. And come all the way across, and you fill in that giant square. Now, instead of doing this all on camera, I have very helpfully already filled one in all the way with glass. So you can see that we have, if I sneak in here, we have our 2 blocks on top, just like this. We also have on one side our 4. And then on this side, we also have 4. So on this side, you will see that we have 5. And on this side, we also have our 5. And then coming underneath, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then this would be the 6th. So you would have made that entire glass box up here, and then going down, you're going to want to punch a 2x2 hole. Might be hard to see with the glass, so let me get rid of some of that. In the floor, just like this. And then when you go in, you're going to want to come down 1. You can see these glass blocks are just like this. You're going to want to come down 1 around all of these sides to make a little bit of a lip. Now the reason that we went out 1 extra in terms of the big glass box we made on the outside is for the lava, which we're going to grab. And you are going to need 4 buckets of lava. There is no real material tutorial here because it's pretty much whatever blocks you want to use. This is really just about the spacing and the concept. You're going to put 1 bucket in each corner, and you will see that the lava will flow perfectly to push everything towards the center, and it does not spill over. And let me change the game mode here to peaceful, just so those guys stop distracting us. And all of those guys will flow directly in here. So now you are going to want some additional blocks. And those additional blocks I do have here, because these are some specific amounts you will actually want to have. You'll want at least these 4 chests, 4 hoppers, 4 either soul sand or soul soil. You can also take grass and turn it into a path block if you want, but I think this is a little bit better, especially for the area. You're going to want 8 half slabs. And you are also going to want to have, take these with me, you're going to want to have some vines. If you don't have vines, you can use ladders instead. And you're going to put the chests down first, like this. And also on this side. And then you're going to point your hoppers into those chests on both sides like that. So anything that falls on top of this soul soil or soul sand will get picked up through these hoppers and go directly into the chests. And then you're going to want to put these half slabs underneath these blocks that you came down. And that's just to make sure that the blaze won't be able to see you or get aggroed. So now we turn the game back to hard. We can see that they will come in. You also want to slide in here and put your vines down, and that again is to help with the entity cramming and some of the lag that will cause. It won't stop it completely because of the setup and some in the center, but it is helpful. And the vines, if you don't have any, will grow around, and that shouldn't be any issue. As I said, though, if you want, you can replace these vines for ladders. And if these blocks weren't here, then these would fall when they pop. So let's get rid of these measurement blocks and phase through the wall. And then in here is a very nice, safe little base. I do note I do like to use pressure plates for doors on the inside. I don't like them on the outside because a mob can actually wander in and step on that. I like buttons on the outside, and I like the pressure plates on the inside. So you can walk through and don't have to worry about anything chasing you. And inside here you can set up your nice little safe area, and you have some nice lighting from that lava and that effect as well. And then you are of course going to want to have a particular type of sword. So if we leave here and we fly around, you're going to want to have a sword that does have looting 3 on it. You're also going to want to have a sword that has sweeping edge. Of course, mending and unbreaking and sharpness are also things you'll want on your sword. And I'll have an iCard to this perfect sword in the description, and as I said, in the iCards. And when you're making this, it may be beneficial to get some fire resistance potions, maybe even some turtle master potions. And I'll link a video I did about the turtle and scoot farm also that could be helpful, because these blaze will get annoying while you're destroying the fortress around them in order to set up their cage. And then you end up with a nice little area. You can set up a base. As I said in the beginning, never claimed to be good at decorating, but it's a good idea to have a nice enchantment table in here because you'll get a lot of levels, some potions to be brewed, things to cook or mend or combine with different books, storage, and then all of your various action blocks you can have. And as long as you are in this box, from anywhere in this box, the spawner will still be activated and you will still get those spawns. As I said, very roughly speaking, it's about 5,000 XP per hour and about 1,000 blaze rods per hour while you're standing here waiting for the lava to just push all those blaze right in there. If you found this video helpful, I would appreciate a like. If you found it interesting, maybe even tell one of your friends. And for more videos like this, do be sure to subscribe. They also mentioned that YouTube has given me a join button, which is their equivalent of Patreon. If you're interested in supporting me in that way, it would be greatly appreciated. There's a button next to the subscription button, which will tell you about a couple of different perks that are offered. Thanks for stopping by.